Terrell, who and or what is important to you?
I'm blessed to just get up and pour and work with young men who are deemed to be bad or cruel to society and kind of helping to rewrite their story and helping to shape their story. I work with young men who are charged with felony crimes as young as 11 years old in the state of Pennsylvania. And so, if it was not for my team or myself, and we're going into court, we're advocating, we're fighting, but we're helping to rewrite the story and tell also the city of Philadelphia of who they are, right? And so that's the work that's important to me.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men because, frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited about this young man today. Let's see. He is a native of North Philadelphia. He also, for nearly 2 decades, has been an advocate for youth who are in the juvenile justice and foster care systems, advocating and ensuring that they get the educational and mental health services that they have a right to. And he himself has a story of resilience as he's overcome his own struggles with having speech delays as a young child. And so I'm so glad to welcome Mr. Terrill Carney. Hi, Terrill.
And, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for that introduction as well. And I'm also so happy to be here. We finally are at our interview. Thank you so much, Val.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for your patience. I forgot to say he's also a very patient man. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you're here because your presence here today puts yet another wedge in the myopic window of how Black men are perceived in our society, especially through the media. We often see very few narratives of Black men, usually stereotypes, maybe four, I'll give them five, and most of those are negative. And so they're not necessarily incorrect, but they're certainly, most certainly, incomplete. And we know that there's probably as many narratives about Black men as there are Black men walking the planet. And so ultimately, we want young kings who may or may not have positive Black male role models to have something else to look to and to learn from, to come to this repository, see these same 6 questions answered by over 200 positive and successful Black men, and hopefully find guidance there. And then for the rest of us who are neither male or even Black, for us to be able to come to this repository, see and hear these same 6 questions, and hopefully open our minds too. So I'm super excited that you are here today, and I want to get started with the first question, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
So that is a great question, right? So manhood means to me a man of dignity, a man of valor, a man of respect, a man who is leaving a mark on his family and the world. I truly believe as men that we should also uplift other young men as well. And so pouring back into young men, I believe is our right? As we see young men coming up. And so just giving back and teaching those things that men who were before me, my grandfather, my uncle, my mentor, my fraternity brothers, all the things that they poured into me, just pouring that back into young men.
That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Terrell, who and or what is important to you?
So, who is important to me? That is a great question. So, who is important to me is the children of Philadelphia, the young Black men of Philadelphia, as well. And just like the men in my family, and pouring into them so I could be who I am, also as well, right? And so the young men of Philadelphia is very important to me. And the work that we do with uplifting them, with guiding them, with mentoring them, with teaching them is the passionate work that I do every day. I'm blessed to just get up and pour and work with young men who are deemed to be bad or cruel to society and kind of helping to rewrite their story and helping to shape their story. I work with young men who are charged with felony crimes as young as 11 years old in the state of Pennsylvania. And so, if it was not for my team or myself, and we're going into court, we're advocating, we're fighting, but we're helping to rewrite the story and tell also the city of Philadelphia of who they are, right? And so that's the work that's important to me.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Terrell, how do you want us to see you?
So I want everyone to see me as someone who is passionate about the work that I do, is passionate about how I show up, and care about all of those who I help to impact. It's not me who has a vision, but it's the universe who has a vision of me doing this work. And so, I want everyone to see me as somebody who's carrying out the vision to uphold and uplift our young Black men.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So, question for Terrell is, what is your epic dream?
My epic dream. It's, I often go back and in doing this work, I mean, sometimes we get tired of doing this work. And so I always tell myself, if I had a dream, I would just go live on an island and not be seen anymore. Right. So that's what comes to me. But it would not be that. It would be continue to do the work that I do. Right. The dream is to impact more lives, to serve more families, to serve more young people, to grow my organization bigger, to serve more, and to do much more than we are doing. So that
Mm,
is my dream.
that's beautiful. Thank you. So, I think you've been answering question 5 all along implicitly, but I'm going to ask you explicitly, Mr. Terrell Carney, who are you?
I am someone who cares deeply about the work that I do. Also, someone who believes that manhood is essential in this piece of America as well, and make sure that I continue to uplift men, but also somebody who's there for my family and friends, and someone who carries them on my back, right? I believe that it's my job to help with that, right? And as a young man, to also teach other young men that you have to stand in the gap for people, that you have to be there for people, that you have to show up for people. And those kinds of things are important to me. So I am someone who shows up, who is accountable, who is respectful, and someone who really just is a true person who is there in everything that I do. And who show up in everything that I do. If I'm part of anything, I'm going to give myself 100%.
That's great. That's awesome. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank
So here we are already at question 6, which is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
Um, that is a great question. Um, I I think, even I I talked about my work. I talked about, why I do the work, but more importantly, I think it wasn't what you missed, but when you talked about my introduction, I'll just share that a part of how I got into the work that I am doing, because I am a young man who suffered with speech disabilities and IEPs and things of that nature. And so I saw how people kind of misjudged or whatever. And so I wanted to, reshape somebody else's story, and to kind of retell their story with people who may be struggling with things, or young men who don't feel comfortable with being vulnerable, with sharing, or sharing with the world their shortcomings or whatever, and they're being judged or labeled as a bad seed or a throwaway seed when they may be hiding something all along. And so for me, because I grew up kind of hiding, my voice, my speech, because I did not want to speak, and so I felt as though it was important for me to get involved in the work that I'm doing.
That's really beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I'm so grateful for your presence in the world, particularly for our young people who, like you said, are often thought of themselves. They think of themselves as throwaway or not valued, and the mistakes that they make, while may have adult consequences,
Yes.
when they happen, when a child does them, there's a reason. There's
Mhm.
some backstory, and to have someone helping them navigate that, face consequences, but also navigate that, and help them to get on the other side of this to be better for themselves and then for the rest of us, which I think is really important because we can't afford to leave anyone behind, And so I just thank you for your work that you do. Thank you for being here today. I honor you, my king. I pray that your epic dream comes true sooner rather than
Thank you
later.
so much. Thank you so
And I'm
much.
just so grateful you were here today.
Thank you so much for this interview. It was a great interview, and thank you for sharing my story and for me being able to tell my story and what manhood means to me. So thank you so much, Val, for this interview. It was great.
Absolutely. Thank you. And stay right there
Thank
because I
you.
want to thank the audience. I hope, and thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And
Yes.
if there is a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to hear from in this forum or you want to see highlighted in this forum, please click the link below or in my bio, fill out the nomination form, and we'll take it from there. I often say it almost in every interview that success to me does not mean what a brother does for a living. Jobs come, jobs go, careers
Yes.
change. But what doesn't change or what can get bigger, if you will, is the content of the man's character.
Mm.
That is what we are really interested in. How is that man positively impacting the community around him, starting with the nuclear family and spreading out? My two caveats: what he does for a living has to be legal and not hurting anyone. Other than that, I don't care. And
Yeah.
so we really do want to hear from all the brothers. And so please, next week, stay tuned for yet another amazing king. And please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thank you so much. And Terrill, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.